Thank you for joining us for the 2-Minute Drills. I'm Aram Talegian, San Gabriel Valley Newspaper Group football writer, joined by San Gabriel Valley Tribune Prep Sports editor Fred J. Robledo. Freddie.
Got a couple of undefeated Catholic schools to talk about today, huh?
That means only one thing. It's a holy war. And it's going on at Kiefer Stadium on Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Damien, 2-0, taking on Bishop Amat, 3-0. Let's get right into this, man. I mean, a lot of people were down on Damien this year. They've had what I thought were the two most winnable games on their schedule right off the bat. They took care of business. They're 2-0. Bishop Amat, we've talked about their non-league. It actually has turned out to be a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be back in spring, but they're 3-0. A lot of people don't like the style points, but hey, you can't argue with 3-0.
Well, I've sat back, I've had the weekend to kind of reflect and look at what Bishop Amat has done, and I'm really trying to be honest with myself and say, they've lost Casares, they've lost Kane, they've lost Darian Johnson. When you factor in Austin Lacey leaving to Pasadena over the weekend, when you think about running back
Jay Anderson
not coming back, and they lose McClanahan, their quarterback, they've had a lot of pieces to fill. Let's give them a lot of credit for being 3-0, for their defense playing as well as they have with the pieces that they've lost. There's been a lot of expectations on this group because of what Haggerty and company have done the two previous years. To be here again at 3-0, they're just ranked in the ESPN top 25 rankings are at 22. Seems like they're in everyone's state or Southern California rankings.
Right.
Bishop Amat is doing a great job, and I think watching them last week, watching Ruiz, watching these running backs, I think this offense, Aaron, has so much more to offer. They're bringing them along slowly.
They're holding back.
I really believe that. I mean, we haven't even seen Rio Ruiz get out of the pocket yet.
Right.
And I get the sense that, these things are going to happen. That he's still, at the end of the day, as athletic and as good as he is, he's still learning on the fly right now.
Right.
He does play a lot of baseball. But having said that, there are expectations at Bishop Amat, and they're going to continue to have expectations. This is a big game. Not, it's big. They're all big for Amat, but what a huge opportunity for Damien this week. And Coach Greg Gano, I was talking to him. This is his first trip to Kiefer, Aaron, since 1985 when he was an assistant with Dwayne Despain, and they lost to the great Bienemy team.
Right.
I mean, there would be no bigger win, no bigger signature victory for Greg Gano than to go to Bishop Amat and to go 3-0. It would just set that program on fire.
Right. Freddie, I mean, let's get right into predictions for this game here. I mean, can Damien pull off this shocker? I think the odds are really stacked against, but
No, I don't think so, because in the last 3 years that I've watched Bishop Amat, they're not a team always that just goes in and just blows you out. And I don't think this is one of those teams either. They have a tendency to play to the level of their competition, whether that means playing up to their competition. Sometimes they're coming down. We saw this against West Covina last year. They struggled through 3 quarters before they were able to put them away. They beat Damien last year 28-21 with a better Amat team than I think, in a game that turnovers really did Damien in. So no, I don't think this is a slam dunk by any stretch.
Okay.
Bishop Amat is still a team trying to find its identity, while Damien, this is the game of all games that can set you on fire. I can't imagine those Damien players not being as fired up as they're ever going to be all season for a game. I mean, this is their game. You measure yourself in these big games and these big moments. What bigger stage than to go to Kiefer on Friday, and you know what the stands are going to be like on both sides. This is going to be magic.
Yeah, let me tell you where you're wrong, Fred. If I'm a 13-year-old Catholic school kid, okay, and I have aspirations of playing football, you have Damien in the north, you have Bishop Amat in the south. I'm trying to make my decision where I'm going to go play next year. And believe me, I think a lot of kids are at this point, maybe not. If Steve Haggerty knows this, and I think he does, he needs to go out and make a statement that says, hey, we are the one and only parochial school in the Valley. Okay, this other school's got a nice coaching staff, yes, but we got a great coaching staff ourselves. We want to get all the top talent here that's going to be looking for a parochial school education. And he knows that. Damien's his biggest competition in that regard. You couldn't really say that about Garfield. Couldn't really say that about Muir. You couldn't really say that about Dominguez. So going off that angle and knowing what we know, and I pretty much think it's fact. They are holding back on offense. They are not unleashing the whole playbook. They don't have Wallace Gonzalez back, yes, but they're not letting Rio do all the things that he can do. They're not unleashing Deonza Blue yet. Maybe that comes in league. They're holding back. They don't hold back on Friday night. I think they take Damien to task, and I think they win big because they're going to make the statement that this is the one and only. Because let's face it, Greg Gano and his staff are a threat when you're Bishop Amat. When you're trying to allure, kids that are looking for a Catholic high school education, Greg Gano and his staff, and Damien's facilities, that's a threat to Bishop Amat. And you want to convince the kids, hey, you can go there and go 4-6 every year, or you can come here and go 8-2. Maybe that won't be the case at Damien forever, but let's be honest.
If I'm a coach and I'm in both locker rooms, Aaron, I think it's an easier sell for me to go to those Damien kids and tell them how important this game is. The Amat kids, there's going to be bigger games down the line. There's going to be bigger challenges down the line. And these coaching staffs aren't playing. These kids are playing in this game.
Sure.
And I think if you're Damien, you've got to be hungrier in a game like this than you are about Bishop Amat. I don't care what kind of speech you give. For the Damien players, this is it. This is the game that can set them on fire.
Sure.
And I think from an emotional standpoint, when it's about kids, sometimes that makes a difference. That's the shot I give them. Am I picking them to win?
Yeah, who are you
Absolutely
picking?
not. I'm picking Bishop Amat to win the game. But I'm giving Damien a very good chance. Would not be surprised at all if they pulled this off on Friday. You're forgetting Greg Gano is one of the greatest coaches in Valley history, too.
His staff is excellent.
He realizes what this moment is all about. He realizes the opportunity in front of him. I was trying to get him to talk and to say some things about the game, and he really had to hold back. I think he's saving some of the things he wants to say for Friday night. He knows this is an important game. And conversely, like you're right, Haggerty knows that it's an important game to Damien, and he's going to have his kids ready because you're right. They do fight for the same kids, and he knows this is a game they can't lose either at this point in their program.
You're right, Freddie. The coaches don't play, but they do control the playbook, and I think Amat opens it up, wins big over Damien on Friday night. You've got Amat, sounds like a little bit of a closer game. Yeah. No matter how you stack it up, no matter who you're rooting for, this has got to be the place to be, or one of the places to be at least on Friday night. Kiefer Stadium at Bishop Amat, 7:30 p.m. It's a holy war. Damien undefeated taking on Bishop Amat undefeated. It's going to be a good one. Get out there.